No one can see this guy as credible. He will say whatever he wants to accomplish his own personal goals. He's a fake witness. His presence here is a travesty. With your loss of your law license, I think you mentioned in your opening statement that you had been disbarred. What is your source of income in the future?
I don't expect I'm going to have a source of income when I'm in federal penitentiary.
What, is there a book deal coming or anything like that?
I have no book deal right now in the process. I have been contacted by many, including for television, a movie. If you want to tell me who you would like to play you, I'm more than happy to write the name down. Sir, I'm not a CPA, and I pled guilty. I'm going to prison as a result of it.
You're a con?
No, sir. Because I pled guilty, and I am going to be doing the time. I have caused tremendous pain to my family, and I take
let's go
happiness
back to the
in
one
the
last question about the bank. Mr. Cohen, you called Donald Trump a cheat in your opening testimony. What would you call yourself?
A fool.
You calling... Okay, well, no comment on that.
I appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, we said we were in search of the truth. I don't believe that Micheal Cohen is capable of telling.
Shame on you, Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Chairman.
Not what I said.
Mr. Chairman.
That's not what I said. What I said is I took responsibility, and I take responsibility. What I was doing is explaining to the gentleman that his facts are inaccurate. I take responsibility for my mistakes. All right, I am remorseful, and I am going to prison. I will be away from my wife and family for years. So before you turn around and you cast more dispersion, please understand, there are people watching you today that know me a whole lot, but I made mistakes. I own them, and I didn't fight with the Southern District of New York. I didn't put the system through an entire scenario, but what I did do is I pled guilty, and I am going to be, again, going to prison. We need you to start making phone calls to the various different news outlets that you have relationships with. And we need to spin this. What we want to do is just to claim that this was men locker room talk.
What's the concern about the election in particular?
The answer is yes. Then couple that with Karen McDougal, which then came out around the same time, and then on top of that, the Stormy Daniels matter. I don't think anybody would dispute this belief that after the wildfire that encompassed the Billy Bush tape, that a second follow-up to it would have been pleasant. And he was concerned with the effect that it had had on the campaign, on how women were seeing him, and ultimately whether or not he would have a shot in the general election. The $130,000 number was not a number that was actually negotiated. It was told to me by Keith Davidson that this is a number that Miss Clifford wanted. Contemplated whether or not to do it. Wasn't sure if she was really going to go public.
In fact, it has to do with your claim of racism. She says that as a daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, that there is no way that she would work for an individual who was racist. How do you reconcile the two of those?
As neither should I, as the son of a Holocaust survivor. A multi-billion-dollar conglomerate came to me looking for information, not something that's unusual here in D.C., looking for information, and they believed that I had a value.
So how many times did you meet with them?
Was the insight that I was capable of offering them.
How many
and they
times?
were willing to pay.
How many times? Yes, that's a question, Mr. Cohen.
I don't recall, sir.
So did you ever talk to them?
I spoke to them on several occasions, yes.
How many?
6 times.
6 times. Wow. $200,000 a call. You're saying that all of that was just paid to you just because you're a nice guy.
Well, I am a nice guy, but more importantly,
I would beg to differ. The record reflects that you're not a nice guy.
Mr. Cohen, I'm pleased you agreed to testify today voluntarily. In my view, we are all here for just one reason, and that's the American people are tired of being lied to. They have been lied to by President Trump. They've been lied to by the president's children.
Everything was done with the knowledge and at the direction of Mr. Trump.
You also said a moment ago that the facts are inaccurate. If they are facts, they are accurate, and that would make you inaccurate. We had an oath here in this very room about a month ago, and it was, quote, "Be clear that I will seek the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God." We have someone testifying here who has already been convicted of lying to Congress. So congratulations for being the first in Congress to do that in this
Thank you.
coming time in the history of Congress